Hello everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video for you today. And in this video review, we're going to look at the ASG Action Army T-11 spring-powered bolt-action airsoft gun. And again, this is the tabletop review, so I will not be shooting it today. I will be doing that video hopefully early next week for you guys, where I'll test it out in our Replica Airgun C-Can, perform the chronograph test for a velocity and an accuracy test from 30 feet out to see what kind of grouping we can get, generally with a 10-shot grouping. So today we're going to focus on specifications, details, some close-up video. I'll do a walk around of the gun, show you what it comes with, all that kind of information. Now this is an interesting new type of airsoft gun. It's from ASG, of course. It's available in our Canada Replica Airgun store in two different 6mm airsoft versions. This one is the gun or pistol version, and we also have a rifle version with more of a traditional buttstock. It does have a longer barrel, although the longer barrel is only really for show because the internal barrel is about the same. But you can actually get the buttstock for this gun. So they have the same back piece here. You can actually, if you had the buttstock, you could unscrew this bolt here and put it on. So that's a possibility. If you do buy the pistol version, you could convert it over to the rifle version fairly easily. So let's get into some specifications right away. This is a bolt-action polymer and metal design gun. It has an all-metal barrel, receiver, and bolt, so lots of metal in it for sure, has good weight. It uses 6mm plastic airsoft BBs, has a 50-round dropout plastic magazine. Now I'm going to talk to you about both versions for specs. So the pistol version, which is the one I have here, is about 3.9 pounds, whereas the rifle version is a bit heavier at 4.5 pounds. Now, I'll show some pictures of the rifle version, or at least one, so you can see what it looks like compared to the pistol version I have here. And again, we have both of those versions in our Canada store if you want to check them out. Now, the total length for each of these guns is 34.7 inches for the pistol version and 43.3 inches for the rifle version. They do have single action only triggers since you have to work that bolt before you can shoot it. And they have claimed FPS of around 400 to 430. Now, interestingly, on most websites, it says that the rifle version has more or higher FPS versus the pistol version, but if they have the same inner barrel, it really shouldn't make a difference. So we'll find out what that FPS is when I shoot it during my field test shooting video. Now you're going to find a really easy to adjust hop up, super easy to get at, and I'll show you that when I do the walk around. It is a smooth bore barrel, of course, and those barrel lengths again are about 11.8 inches, whether you have the pistol version or the rifled version with the longer external barrel. Now you're going to find top and bottom Picatinny or Weaver style rails on this gun. There is the option to include side rails. You'd have to get a rail and find the right screws or type of screws to put in there, so you have to source that out, but there is a possibility of putting side rails on here. Now there are no included sights, so you will have to add either a red dot or optical sight because all you have is that top rail. No iron sights are on this gun. And again, even if you do have the pistol grip version, you can add the buttstock version or the buttstock to it if you want to do that, if you can source that out as well. Maybe we'll have that in our store at some point. Now, one other thing to mention is the ASG VSR 10 parts are compatible and are upgradable with this version of the T-11. As far as I know, the ASG Action Army T-11 is not really any specific replica of any gun in production. Kind of does look like a sawn-off shotgun, even though it is a bolt-action style rifle or pistol or whatever you want to call it. And again, this gun is distributed by ASG Action Sport Games. Now it does come in a nice box. I've taken the actual foam or the styrofoam out of the box, so it's just the box outer lining here, just so we can kind of work it around a little bit easier. So you have some specifications. You can pause your screen if you want to take a look at that. But we have the length there, the weight, so you can see the different versions there as well, the short version versus the long version, or pistol versus rifle. 6mm, 50 rounds, again, 4.5 pounds versus 3.86. And you have the jewels. And again, there's that FPS, which is kind of weird because they have the same length barrel, yet they have different FPS, although it is not, you know, a big difference. Okay, there's not really a lot to show you on the rest of the box. Now, it does come with this sort of fake magazine here that will go in here. And before I put it in, I just want to show you, it is sort of a storage compartment for these Allen keys, right? So you've always got your Allen keys, and I'm sure you can add other things in here if you wanted to, although they might rattle around a bit. And then it just goes in and looks like your actual magazine. That would be traditionally where your magazine would go. The real magazine, on the other hand, which comes in the box, is this guy here. You load it basically through there. A speed loader would help, even though it doesn't come with one. That would be nice, but they wrap around 50 rounds goes in this plastic magazine. Once it's loaded up, you put it in there. To eject it, you would have to push that button in there to eject it. Obviously, gravity will help you take it out. And then you actually have a pistol or a hand stop here that you can put on this front rail. Okay, so you could put this hand stop on there. You could put whatever you want. If you don't want to use this, you could use like a laser, some sort of tack light, maybe a pistol grip, whatever you want, you can put on there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I'm not going to put that on for now. We'll just leave it off to the side. And of course, you get the manual in the box. So there you can see the two versions. Even though I probably already put a picture of the rifle up for you guys, you can see them side by side. You can see how the pistol grips are similar, so you can just add on that buttstock anytime that you want. You can see how the barrel length is actually different, even though the internal barrel is the same. So inside you're going to have information here pertinent to this gun, things not to do, warnings. Don't shoot it at people, obviously. They don't want you to take it apart. You're going to have firing info, how to use it, how to fire it, how to load the magazine, right? Where the safety is, safety on, off, how to eject that mock magazine, how to get into it. There's all the little parts inside. Here's how you would change the stock over. Okay, so that's good information to have. There's how you would adjust your hop up. Okay, and I'll show you that again, explaining what it does. Okay, so that's pretty good information in there for you. All right, so at this point, we're going to do the walk around, take a good look, nice and close. This gun is actually really well built, looks really good. There we go, we got focusing happening now. So this is your safety, okay? Really easy to get at. If you're right-handed, it's going to be a lot easier. If you're left-handed, you'll have to cross over a little bit. Has a nice, really nice bolt here, all metal. It's pretty tight, but there you go. Okay, and then, right? So that's a single action only trigger. This is your magazine release, or your fake magazine release there that pops that magazine out. All metal receiver, all metal rail, all metal bolt, all metal barrel, or at least this outer barrel and inner barrel would be metal. You do have the orange tip. You could probably paint that or whatever, maybe remove it. You do have these screw holes here for adding some sort of a rail if you can find or match it up with something. And then you have the included Picatinny rail here. I guess you could probably take this off and mount it on the side if you wanted to. So you could do that. This is a screw hole for removing or taking the gun apart, probably removing the barrel from the stock. There's your magazine. Okay. Another screw for taking things apart in the back here, probably to add that buttstock if you want to do that. Some styrofoam. Okay. There's your hop up. So you just move this back and forth to adjust your hop up. Instructions are in the manual, which way does what. So if you're shooting a little low, you can adjust your hop up, give it a bit more backspin. That'll possibly bring up your shot a little bit higher. Obviously, if you have a scope on here, some sort of optical scope, since this is a sniper rifle, you might want to have like a 3-power scope versus a red dot. Depends what you're going to be using it for. Closer or further out shooting, it's up to you. Not a ton of branding on this gun, you'll notice. You do have Action Army on the bottom here. Okay, you do have some warning instructions. Other than that, there's really not a lot. Not even, as far as I can tell, I don't even see a lot of ASG branding on it. So very, very minimal branding on this product. Just the Action Army branding. Again, really right there. Okay, that's the only place I can really find it. So let's get into some pros and cons. It's nice that you have the included top and bottom rails, one back on the receiver and one at the front of the gun. For that hand stop, you could probably move this to the sides or get an additional rails that you might want to add on there if you want to add more than just the hand stop. Maybe you want to put a tack light on the side. So you do have a lot of mounting options on this gun. It's nice that if you do buy the pistol version and you want to perhaps turn it into more of a conventional sniper rifle, you can add the buttstock. You don't have to replace the gun or add a completely new stock. You can just add that buttstock once you source out those parts. Again, maybe we'll be carrying that in our store at some point. I'm not even sure if we might have it now. Hopefully we do get it in the future if we don't have it already for you guys. I like that mock magazine, even though it's not really in the right place for this gun, it does allow for storage and transport of tools or whatever else you want to fit in there, add in there. You can bring some stuff with you, and it's right in the gun, ready to use anytime you need it. Not going to lose those parts. I like the safety switch. It's in a great location for right-handed shooters especially. Super easy with your thumb. If you find that safety's on, you can quickly disable it and take a shot. And again, it does come with that included hand stop. You know, if you want to use something like this over a traditional foregrip or pistol grip. It's a very solid construction with lots of metal parts where they're important, as in the bolt, receiver, barrel, places like that. If you're looking for something that isn't a super huge sniper rifle, you want something a little bit more compact, this would be a great option. Most sniper rifles have the long barrel, the big buttstock, a little bit harder to move around. I would imagine with a nice scope on here, if you've got this gun situated, rested on some sort of rail or something, you're not going to need that shoulder stock as much. Obviously, these guns are airsoft guns. They're not going to kick a lot, so that's not as important. So having the compact form might be more important to you over a longer gun. It's a bit harder to cart around. And again, you do have the option of buying it in the rifle version if that's your choice. All right, a few cons. It does come with the orange tip. Even our Canada version, even though it's not required, there is that orange tip on it. You could perhaps remove it or paint over it if you want to. And again, it doesn't come with any iron sights, so you are going to need to add some sort of optical or red dot sight to it. And it would have been nice if it came with a speed loader. Loading 50 BBs into that magazine one by one will take some time, so hopefully you have a speed loader on hand to use with this gun. Alright, again, the ASG Action Army T-11 spring-powered bolt-action airsoft gun is available in our Canada Replica Airgun store in both the pistol and rifle airsoft versions, so check out links in the description. You can also check out our Replica Airguns website over at replicaairguns.com, where I have articles, post reviews. I'll have additional information and photos there for you guys. I'll put a link in the description so you can find that. And if you're interested in other products, air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, make sure to check out replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for the US. All right, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe before you head out. Also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.